So, hi, my name is Cherish Reed, and I'm the author of The Right Escape, coming to you September 30th. And this is my editor, Kate Marope.
Hi guys.
And we're going to talk to you guys about what the editing process was like, how things popped off, and where we're at now, and the journey, short journey, abbreviated journey in between. So, um,
It was
yeah,
crazy because we were just talking about how it's been a full year now.
a
Like
full
from
year.
pitch to like actual like release date. It's been
Yeah.
it's from September 6th to September 30th, I think. Yeah. It's been a full year.
No, it's insane because last year, I think around this time, I was just so antsy about what to do with this thing, and I'm done writing it. I didn't know that I was actually done writing it. There's where the editing process comes in. But I
Mhm.
just wanted to like give it to someone, and I did the pit mad, and that's where you come in.
Yeah. I remember I think it was just after we did the Carina editor retreat and you pitched it and I was like, oh my God. And you even had like a little shamrock in your pitch. I was like, this is so cute. And I was like, yes, I need this book in my life because I have a thing for Irish men. That was like, yes. And she's a Black woman. And I'm like, yes, these are two things that I absolutely love into one pitch. And I was like, I need this book in my life. And then
Oh,
the holiday season happened, and we're like all like everybody is on vacation and doing things. And then I think there was also DB Pit where you pitched it, and then Carrie Buckley goes to me. She's like, "Do you have this book? Because I really want to read it." I was like, "No, no, no, no! I got to it first. It's mine."
and
So
see that was what made me so nervous because I did the pitch mad thing and I'm like, I think I'm getting bites. And then I waited a long time and then DV pit came and I tried it again. But I also knew that this Karina has the 60-day or 90-day wait. And
mhm.
so, but I still couldn't be patient enough for that. And so I was just like, oh, I hope they're looking at it. I hope they're looking at it.
And let's be honest, like I was going through a hard time. And I was like reading the opening chapters, and it's like demo. I was there bawling my eyes. I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever read." And I was telling my mom, like, "I was going to recommend this book to acquisition," but I'm like bawling my eyes out. And I was like, "You made me feel things." It was really cathartic. Now that I'm like looking back, I was like, "That was like such a great emotional release for me." I was like, "Yeah," but that was like I was so there with the
Oh,
character. Loved
oh,
it. Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah.
Because I kind of picked that up from like I got not the call but the email, um,
Yeah.
and you and Stephanie had pretty much said the same thing. Like Antonia's the best.
Yeah.
Now let's work on Aiden.
Yes.
And readers, Aiden looked a lot different back in the day, and with some substantial edits, this is the guy that you get now, and he's quite wonderful.
Let's put it this way. Aiden was the diamond in the rough. Like he had those moments where he was sparkling, especially like the witty banter moments. I think that didn't change, but like his mind space kind of shifted in terms of like how he's feeling about himself and how that works in his interactions with Antonia. Because yeah, Aiden before was a little bit self-loathing, a little bit too much.
Yes.
He was
Um,
in his feelings.
well, and that's my husband could probably tell you that might be just Irishness. There's a smidge of woe is me, and then a lot of gallows humor where everything is just a little dark. You're on the precipice of something really dark or really humorous, and um, I think I've channeled maybe a little too much of that, but tried to bring it back into the genre of like this is romance. You have to make these
And like
two.
Antonia was already making me bawling. So I was like, there can only be one person who's making me feel in my feelings.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's go a little bit.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
we have to treat Antonia right.
Yeah. Antonia deserves a man worthy of her.
Yes.
That was like, yeah, that was probably the biggest change I think that we did in the book. Yeah.
I think I think the editing process, this whole going back and forth with edits, it made me nervous every time just because I've always been a nervous kid. I mean, I'm 35 now, but I still remember being like really nervous about getting grades back. And for me, this felt like, okay, are they changing their minds? Are they going to be like, no, we don't want any of this? And I think maybe I should let authors know, no, they're working with you on this. They're seeing you through the way. Like, it's not a, um, it's not as anxiety provoking as you think it is, I guess.
Yeah. My thing is that never like when I try to be as open as possible and I'm like reach out. And I know like you generally don't. So like I think with the second book I learned I knew you better. So I was like, okay, Cherish, I'm serious when I say call me if you like are freaking out or if you want to talk through something. Like I really do mean it because like what I do is basically a suggestion. I can tell you why something isn't working, but how you change it to make it work, to fit the story, to fit the characters, whatever. It's really up to the author.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if what I'm suggesting is not working for you, that's fine. But let's talk about it and make sure that what you're comfortable with changing or how you want to change it will work to fix the problem that was happening in the book. And I think that once we got to that point in our relationship, I think things went smoother. And I hope that
Yeah.
you're like less anxious receiving edits from me.
Yeah. No, I'm you had the misfortune of working with somebody who needs constant coddling and validation at every turn. So,
Just like for authors who like, yeah, first time with an editor, like just tell the editor because we're not mean people. And I really don't mind going the extra mile to be like, hey, do you want to talk about this before I send you the edits just so that like you're ready for it? Or, another question I often ask authors is there a particular day you don't want me to send you stuff? Because like if you like want to preserve your weekend, and you don't want like the edits hang over you all weekend long, I can just send them on Monday. It's really not such a big deal for me to change things like that up for you, you know? And I remember, and you're like, no, it's okay. And I was like, okay. But it's like, is there a time of day that you don't want? Like some people are like, send it right before I go to bed because I'm going to be thinking about it all night long. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to give anybody anxiety.
oh,
I just want to like, but you and I are night owls. So I was like, I'm up, you're up, we could
yeah.
Skype, we could this, yeah.
No, I guess I never thought about it like that. I remember you asking me that, and I was like, well, what does it matter? The work is going to be there when I wake up or whatever. Um, but no, that makes sense. I guess, yeah, I guess they're your words, and you're just like fretting about how I fret about how you'll like it, how the people above you will like it, ultimately how the reader will like it, and so you're just like in this constant state of please like me, and and I'm a Leo, and so everything is just like let me shine, and it's just a full-on drama-filled existence. Enough about that. um, I will say to the reader that there are fun things to work on that are, outside of editing, like this whole idea of title stuff. I get title worksheets because my original title, do you even remember what it was?
I no, here's the thing, because I remember talking about this during acquisitions, because I think when you pitched it, it was writing into his arms, but when you submitted it, I think you wrote like in the actual thing, you wrote right into his arms. I was like, I wasn't sure which title she was going with, but they're in the same vein. You'll get it.
I mixed it up. Right into his arms,
Yeah.
WRITE, and I thought I was being like super cute.
That was adorable though.
But I mean, we changed it not too much. I think what you came up with was actually like, oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But
I actually like I was there thinking, okay, what kind of titles do we have? And some of them were like really bad, and I was like, okay, that would never fly. But then I was like, The Right Escape was like perfect because like this is really like mostly Antonia's book.
mm,
And she's like the star character. Like right from the beginning, we're like I said, we're connecting with her. It's about her journey.
yeah,
And so I was like, she's basically fleeing the country. Low key fleeing the country and going to Ireland to discover herself. So that's kind of an escape. And I was like, but I want to keep the original pun because I wanted to keep like what you had originally like had for the title. So I was like, The Right Escape.
yes.
And I was like, I'm gonna pitch this.
Yeah, I mean, and then that made me feel really good because it felt like, okay, this is getting more real. And then, of course, the cover concepts came to me after I filled out the worksheet, and then it was like, oh, this is really real now. I keep having these stages of like, this is even more real, and the book is coming out in like 8 days. So,
I don't know. There are a lot of authors who's like, it's not real until everyone can get it, you know, like
yes.
I yeah. Like when you start getting that flood of like attention onto the book, I think that's when like on all the reviews come out and like I don't know, because I think people think that editors and like the people who are part of the process are there like from a functional point of view because we're readers too, guys.
Yeah.
But like so like we wouldn't say this is good if it wasn't good. We would just be like, okay, maybe not for us. But it was a fabulous book. It became even more fabulous. So to me, it was always real. I was like, this needs to be out in the world because so many people will love it and identify with the characters so much.
Aw, it still feels nice to hear. Um, no, I'm super stoked. The cover was lovely. You guys do really cool things with covers at Carina. Every time I see somebody else's stuff, I'm like, ooh, look at that. Um, and yeah, and then like there's going to be an audiobook, which was definitely something that I didn't anticipate, but that was something that that Angela worked on acquiring, and I was like, okay, unexpected but very cool, and we've got that coming out too.
Yes, I'm super excited. That's like the excitement for me. I'm like on drop day, I get the audiobooks. I'm just like,
Have you, how many edited books have you
what?
heard audio, like that you've personally edited?
Not many. I think just the other one that I did at Karina, played again by Aiden Wayne, which is Male
Ah,
Contemporary.
yes.
And it's like super sweet, very sweet because one of the characters is asexual.
Okay.
Um, so it's like very slow burny a la Mariana Zapata, and it's a long distance relationship. So of course they're not actually like together to do anything. Yeah. So I have that one on audiobook, and it was narrated by one of my favorite audiobook narrators. I was like, yes. So
Ooh, who?
Sean Krisden.
Okay. I'll have to
Yeah, he
check
does a
him
lot
out.
of male audiobooks and stuff. So I was like, yay. So I do have that one there. And yeah, that's the only form of the book my mom will read. My mom hates reading. She's like, I don't know where you get it from. But she will do audiobooks with me. So this is our compromise.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just visual people, and then some people are just audio learners. And yeah, audiobooks are still a thing. I'm a little impatient with them because they take longer to
Okay.
consume than I would read myself.
Okay.
I'll
Well, okay.
listen to my own book, I guess, but I don't know.
I don't know. For Play It Again, it was particularly important because one of the characters is blind, and the author also has a blind family member. So they wanted
Oh,
their sibling to be able to share in the book. And so we made that happen for that particular reason. And tip for listening to audiobooks, I speed it up. I like on average, I listen at like 1.75 speed, maybe 2, depending on the narrator. I will
Yeah.
speed it up because I will process much faster than most people narrate.
Okay.
And I'll get through a book maybe in a day or two. Like, yeah,
Okay.
it gets through quick.
I should be doing that. I don't know why I'm not.
Yeah. But it's easier for me because I need to rest my eyes because I read for fun and I read for work. And I'm like, okay, my eyeballs hate me now. So
So you are basically, when you told me how much that you travel, I'm segueing terribly. When you told me how much you travel, I was immediately reminded, like, oh, okay, this is maybe part of the reason why she would love my book so much. Um, you are in North or South Korea right now.
yes.
But that's not been like your only trip this year. You've been to like a million places. Every time I email edits to you, you're like, I'm
I'm
in.
like, I try to warn you just because of time change, because like we normally live in the same time zone. And I'm like, yeah. Then you're like, can I call you? And I'm like, oh shit. Like last time I was in Swaziland and I'm like, this is a good time because it was like relatively close. But today I was like, yeah, I need a nap. Jet lag is hitting me hard, 7-hour time difference. Yeah. So I travel a lot and I love it. But it's also really wreaks havoc on my system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Since my husband and I moved to Sweden last year, we have been able to do a lot more traveling, and it's giving me ideas. I'm really excited about places that I can include in next books. Um, the second book is kind of a small town romance that doesn't leave Illinois at all, but the third book, I'm doing something different or daring or whatever, and some of it might take place in Sweden. Um, but I definitely want to continue down the road of the right escape, like going places with these characters.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I loved about your book is that it was written from a place of authenticity in terms of describing not only like moving through the world in a Black body, but also like the culture and the environment that you can find yourself in when you travel. Like it's like a whole new world and they've got their own thing going on. And like I love how Antonia still appreciated that. Like she didn't let her own discomfort and being like the only Black person in town ever her from actually enjoying like the positive things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that comes from me and him traveling all over the place. It's just like we're kind of, well, he went to school for anthropology. I didn't, but I'm like an amateur. And so I tried to observe and like chill and blend in when in Rome kind of stuff and try not to upset the apple cart wherever I go because, there's like a few hats that I have to wear as an American Black woman going to these places, and I don't have to, but I feel like I have to represent abroad or something.
Mm.
And so I hope that does come across in the reading of The Right Escape, just like, give readers, especially Black women who are wanting to go out and travel, like, give them a little escape.
Exactly. Yeah. And without the anxiety, that's like one of the things about like these kind of escapism type books is that like you get to armchair travel,
Mm.
which is like part of like the awesomeness of the book. And then it was more important that you were armchair traveling with somebody who looks like you and who like has the same like thoughts and like things they have to consider while traveling by
Yeah,
themselves. Yeah. And that's really where the magic happened.
I know. I feel really proud of it, and I thank you tremendously for getting me to the point where it's like, um, I've had reviews where people are like, "Oh my God, I love these two. We're calling them double A now." I think one of the most meaningful reviews that I've read, and I feel like there'll be more, but um, one woman said, I read this at the perfect time. I just got laid off, and she's like, and so did this character, and it made me feel like I can get it back. I can, move on. That made me cry. And I did that. So, I'm looking forward to more people reading it, obviously, and sharing their thoughts and, getting to know Double A.
Oh, I think my favorite review that made me laugh was like Aiden's White Woke.
Yes.
That one gets me every time, and as long as I'm like going through it, and I'm like, yeah, all right, go you.
He is white woke. Good for him. No, and that's another thing about interracial relationships. I didn't want to spend like a whole couple of chapters trying to deal with like you got to deal with the elephant in the room, but I also didn't want it to be laborious for my main character because she has already come off of something huge. I just need this white dude to be like ready-made woke. And
Yeah. That's not to say Aiden doesn't do dumb things, because
yeah, no, but like,
but it was a good balance of
yeah,
just relationship problems versus interracial romance problems, and I think
exactly. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about the book except thank you for helping me get through this to this point, and you guys will be reading it soon, like in 8 days. Is there anything else that you would like to say as an editor and process and stuff?
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And like I said, we're actually here to listen to you. So if anything makes you uncomfortable, or, you want to try a different route or anything like that, like really do let your editor know, and do put your work out there, because you're not going to get an editor if you never put yourself out there, whether it's through a pitch event or just sending submissions on the low. You don't have to announce everything through Twitter. That's okay if that's not you. But yeah, and it only takes one yes. So I highly recommend that if you really feel strongly about your book and you feel like it's ready, doesn't have to be 100%. We can still work on it together, but put it out there.
Thank you for saying that. I feel like I need a reminder of that in so many other aspects of my life. Just keep putting yourself out there. You can't win if you don't play the game, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw. Well, thanks, Kate. Thank you for sharing your editor wisdom. And yeah, The Right Escape is coming out in 8 days.
Go get it, guys. It is so worth it. I am in love with this book.
Aw, thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, don't hang up.
Okay.